Hello Jennifer, Matthew here with FreePrescriptionLenses.com, and I'm going to show you how I cut your prescription lenses for a Gucci 2769 Strauss color NDE. It is Gucci with the bling. Can you see that? That is just a beautiful frame. The nice thing about this bling, you can wear it with gold and silver. So I'm going to pop your Italian frame into my Italian LE1000 patternless edger. Costs $30,000. You've heard me say it before, but I recommend everyone go out and get one, put it on your kitchen table, and then you can cut glasses at home. You don't need that car in your driveway. What else are you going to do with $30,000? So it is now tracing the shape of your left lens. I believe it may have already traced your right lens while I was yapping. But I'm going to pull up the shape of your lens onto the computer screen. You have a pupillary distance of 63.5. This is a polycarbonate lens being cut for a metal frame. Alright, that is programmed. Let me get to work cutting your lenses. Your right eye is plano minus 1 1/4 at 80. Let me spin the axis wheel to 80. Put the power drum on plano. Pull your right lens out of the wrapper. If you notice, it has you upgraded. You paid the extra $29 for the anti-glare coating. Let me just grab a random, actually I can grab, let me just grab a random lens without the anti-glare coating. And you can see, the one on the right, you can see the reflections from the fluorescent lights on that, and you don't on the one on the left. Alright, back to work, Demonstration's over. Your right lens, plano minus 1 1/4 at 80. Let me just make sure that's right. 180, I'm glad I checked that. I've got all your information on the front side so that, in fact, let me just cover this up so I can read this. Plano minus 1 1/4 at 180, minus 1/4 minus 50 at 005. Plano minus 1 1/4 at 180. Okay, good. Hang on, I'm getting a text on my Samsung Gear watch. Alright, hang on, I need to respond to that. That's the one thing about online sales, you get a lot of... Let me just type this in, I'm good. See you then. And send. My Samsung Note 3 paired up with my Samsung Gear watch. Okay, back to work. Plano minus 1 1/4 at 180. I am so glad I caught that. Being 90 degrees off center on 1 1/4 sphere is definitely out of ANSI tolerance. Okay, so right about now you see the dust on top of my Marco 101 lensometer. I have spun your lens around to find the optical center and the spherical powers. I spin the power drum to check your cross curve, which is also known as the astigmatism correction. Make sure everything is lined up perfectly. I'm going to put some dots on your lens. I'm going to darken the center one, which is your optical center, and mark that right. I'm going to put my pen away. Get your left lens, minus 1/4 minus 50 at 005. Turn the axis wheel to 5. The power drum to minus 50, minus 1/4. Let me check that, minus 1/4 minus 50. Again, spin your lens so that the sphere power comes into it. Check your astigmatism, and I'm going to explain how all that works in a minute. Put some dots on your lenses, and let me darken your optical center because we're going to need to look at that later, and put an L on there. Now I'm going to use a block to hold this lens into place while it's cutting, but I have to put a double-sided adhesive sticker on there. The black side is the sticky side, and then the block goes into the blocker where your right lens is at. And I'm going to put this on my crosshairs of the scope, get everything lined up perfectly, and boom, we are good. I'm going to do the same thing for your left lens. Now you get free prescription lenses when you buy a frame from me here at FreePrescriptionLenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. But you're actually getting bulletproof, unbreakable lenses that have both UVA and UVB protection. But one thing about the anti-glare coating that you paid an extra $29 for is that it is a hydrophobic coating, meaning that your lens hates water, which is good because you now never have to use a liquid to clean your lenses, but it makes it a little bit more slippery. Just like when you wax your car and it rains, the rain beads right off. Any moisture is going to do the same thing for your lens. It's just going to run right off your lens. Nothing will stay. So in the future, you only have to use your cleaning cloth, and I'll show you your Gucci cleaning cloth here in a moment. But These are the high quality polycarbonate lenses, and it's aspheric, meaning it does not have that fishbowl effect. It is not a round lens. It has a much flatter curvature to it, much better cosmetic appeal. And of course the anti-glare coating that you have, and let me explain here too, it is tracing the shape of your frame onto the lens. It's tracing the concave side of your lens first, which is closest to your eyelashes. It is now tracing the concave side of your lens, convex, to make sure it cuts out. Your cutting wheel is actually at the bottom. It's the wheel on the left. It's like a heavy grit sandpaper, and this wheel in the center is going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside your metal frame. This is going to get loud, and I'm going to have to close the door while this is cutting, but for now I just want you to see your lens strike the cutting wheel. So I'm closed the door. It is still cutting. I'm going to come back to that a little bit later as we're closer to the shape, but for now, here is what you will be getting. Your Gucci case, your Gucci card of authenticity that is inside, and your Gucci cleaning cloth. Now, I will give instructions to you, but I'm going to tell you now, in order to clean your Gucci cleaning cloth, just wash it at the kitchen sink with Dove or Palmolive, your dish soap. Rinse it out under cold water and just let it air dry on a paper towel or a dish towel on the counter. It should dry in a few hours and last you for years. Now, Gucci has redefined, and I wish you could smell this Italian leather. Oh, if there were only smell-o-vision. But they have designed your eyeglass case to take up less space inside of your purse or when it's in your pocket. When you want to minimize space, it folds down. When you want to use it, it unsnaps. Of course, you see the Gucci printed onto this soft backside of it. These fold out, close the lid, and now you have a triangular case that snaps shut to protect it. When you want to take up less space in your clutch purse or your pocket, just fold it back down, and it folds down flat. And of course, that's how I well, no, I actually will put the glasses in there to ship it, but you can still put your Gucci cleaning cloth. And of course, here's the card of authenticity. Let me open that up for you. And of course, in every language, it just shows that it is an authentic product. Let me just tuck this in there for now, because I'm going to keep this in the bag while this ships and have your glasses in the case. So that is that. This is a beautiful frame. This Gucci 2769 Strauss with the bling. If you are a bling person, this is the frame for you. It comes in 3 colors. A shiny gold, a brown, as well as a black. Now on the black frame, instead of the gold bling, you still have the white bling at the edges, and you expect that to bling, but it's actually the black ice that's on the black frame that really sets that one off, that gives it its sparkle. Now your lens is just about to finish cutting. If you notice, it's still flat on the edges like a nickel. It could stand up on its own. It is now going around and putting the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the metal frame. This whole process should take about 15 minutes. It is now 8:03, a Tuesday, February 11th, 36 degrees in my hometown, and we're waiting for about 6 inches of snow. Which the people up north you laugh at, but down here, you guys get snow. We get ice on our roads. It just stays warm enough that whatever falls onto the roads melts, and then at nights turns into ice. And then even northerners can't drive on ice. Trust me, most of the cars that's in the ditches, even the SUVs with 4-wheel drive, a lot of them have New England license plates. You have a false sense of security when you move down here to the Research Triangle Park region for work, and then you realize, wait, I can't drive on this. All my life I could drive on snow, but welcome to the land of ice. So right now it's just getting a little bit of a bath to clean the optical sawdust off the lens. It is now done. I'm going to do one last step before I try and mount it into your frame. I'm going to take it out of the chuck. I am going to dry your lens off. It's still a little bit rough at the edges, so I'm going to take my handstone, which is smooth. It just works on friction. When I put my hand on here, it starts to get warm. Blow on my finger to cool it off, but I'm going to put a little safety bevel onto your lens. Now, if you can see those white edges, that is called Schwarf. I actually called BS the first time I heard that term from my professor. If you notice, I have worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail by doing that. Everyone knows what's coming next. I drop the Schwarf on the counter and then wipe it on the floor. My trademark move. LeBron James throws chalk in the air. I throw dust on the floor. Now I'm going to take my Phillips head screwdriver, remove your eye-wire screw from your Gucci 2769, and I'm going to try and mount your lens in there. Tuck that in. Hang on. First one always wants to be difficult, especially when people are watching on TV. I may have to take it down a little bit more, but I think this should fit if I just had the manual dexterity. There we go. That snaps into place. Close that. I'm going to tighten that screw. Before I tighten it all the way, I'm just going to make sure the lens is in there perfectly. I'm going to set it down on top of my moleskin so I do not ruin the finish of your frame, and I close that and start on the left. Now I flip this over to the left. Put your lens in the chuck. Hey Chuck. Excuse me, Charles. Sorry, it's my bad optical humor. I have to entertain myself when I'm back here working all by myself. So we've seen this before. This is tracing the shape of your frame onto the lens. I'm actually going to close the door and continue working on your right lens. This gives me a moment to, first things first, I got to take the block off of your lens. It has served its purpose. I'm going to remove your double-sided sticker. And you can see the red dot that is still on your lens. At least if I had a white background, you would see the dot. That is your optical center that's going to sit right in front of your pupil. I'm going to verify your prescription, spin that back to 180. Put the red dot right in front of the lensometer, and hopefully everything reads Plano minus 1 1/4 at 80. Perfect, perfect. So that is done. I'm going to spin the axis wheel to 5. So I get ready to inspect your left lens as soon as that one is done. Okay, Jennifer, so in the meantime, cover your left eye, and with your right eye, look through this lens. Hopefully I'm doing it right, and everything should be clear. I'm hoping that it is. I'm going to hold that up over my screen. I guess that doesn't do much. It's not the strongest of prescriptions. Now, your prescription itself, let me explain that to you. Everything is in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. Your left eye, I'm sorry, your right eye reads Plano minus 1 1/4 at 180. Plano means you need 0 magnification, or in some people's case, people who are myopic or nearsighted, they need a minus or a minify. Your lens does neither of those. You do not need any magnification or minification. Your right eye is completely astigmatic, meaning that the only correction is for the astigmatism. Now, again, as I mentioned before, everything's in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, 1 1/4. If you were on a ladder, you were on the 5th rung of a ladder at minus 1 1/4. So the first box magnifies, or your left eye actually minifies. You have 1 step of correction in your left eye, 2 steps of astigmatism correction. And I always like to explain to people there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. It's not a disease. It's not an affliction. People freak out when they hear that word. It's really no big deal when it comes to eyeglasses. When ordering contacts, it can be more problematic, more expensive. More designed lenses, ones that aren't as comfortable as the cheap disposable throwaways, but still doable. So the first box magnifies or minifies to the correct size. The second box, for your right and left, takes away the fuzzy edges. So without your glasses on, P's and F's, 6s and 8s look alike. You know, the reason why you got the anti-glare coating is because you had mentioned that you have trouble driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain. People with astigmatism suffer from that more than people who don't have it. When light comes into your eyes, it actually does not settle into a point focus. It scatters into a broad spectrum on the back of your retina, and that's what causes a halo effect or starburst pattern when you see lights coming at you at night on the highway or on any road. With that anti-glare coating will eliminate all the bad glare while letting all the light through. It's 3 features in one. It's an anti-glare lens. where it eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but street lights, stoplights, computer screens, fluorescent lights, any glare source. The second feature, it's an anti-reflection lens, which I tried to demonstrate earlier on the other lenses. So when someone's looking at you, it's better eye contact. They're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. Or if someone takes a picture with a flash, you don't see the flash lit up in your lens. It's much, much better eye contact than having no anti-glare. And the third feature that I like, the practical side, is it comes with the best scratch coating in the business. Now, nothing is scratch proof on this green planet. This third rock from the sun, nothing is scratch proof, not even diamonds. So again, I am going to put the safety bevel onto your lens, which I should have dried off first, especially with your lens being the hydrophobic, meaning this hates water and it's a little bit more slippery around water. I'm going to dry that off so I do not drop it on live TV. Set your lens down. Use the correct screwdriver to take the eye wire screw out. Drop it on the counter by accident. I'm glad it didn't fall on the floor, which it does do. And I'm going to mount your lens into the frame. It snaps in. I'm going to take the screw, put it back into there, close everything up, close the screw about halfway down. That's about halfway. I'm just going to make sure the lens is mounted in there perfectly, and it is. I'm going to finish tightening this. I'm going to take that left block off of your lens, dry the excess moisture, pull the sticker away, toss that. And now if I hold this up, what is your pupillary distance, Jennifer? It is 63.5. So I'm going to hold my PD stick up, try and hold that into place. I'm going to put the left end at 0 on your right eye and hold that up, and if you can see, that should be right between 63 and 64, and that gives you 63.5. Hopefully you can see that on my GoPro camera. I'm going to put the left lens into my Marco 101 lensometer. Oh, I've already spun the axis wheel to 005. Put that in there, check, and that lines up perfectly at -1/4. Spin it another half a diopter. Perfect. I am a licensed optician here in North Carolina. I inspect every lens. Nothing gets out of here. I do my own lab work, so nothing gets out of here that is not perfect, because I've got no one else to blame for it. This is how I keep quality control high. I keep quality control high and costs low by doing my own lab work. I'm just going to clean this off, and before I ship back to you, I'm just going to make sure that your frames are in standard alignment. When I press down on the counter, they do not wobble. Same thing. Close the hinges, make sure everything lines up perfectly. And now I'm going to put this into your case and get it ready for shipping. Jennifer, hopefully this has been fun for you watching your Gucci's being made. If I can be any more help, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. And this is one of the many, many ways that I can bring that loving feeling back to glasses. Thank you.